techno in the back. Let's see if I can find the remote. Shut the technos off. Alright. Got the technos off most of them. Still got the one in the back, but it's whatever. UFC Vegas 17, last card of the year. It was supposed to be 15 fights. Bilal Muhammad versus Diego Lima has been scratched from the card due to a positive COVID test from Bilal Muhammad. So we're down to 14 fights on this card. I still think one of the longer cards in UFC history. Main card starts off Anthony Pettis, Alex Moreno. Pettis 23-10, 18 finishes, 12 knockouts, 6 submissions. His last fight was a decision win over Cowboy Cerrone in May. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and a third-degree Dan black belt in Taekwondo. He'll be fighting first-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu and black belt in Taekwondo. 18-6-1 Alex Moreno. 11 wins by finish for Moreno. 5 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's never been submitted in his career, and his last fight was decision win over Rice McKee, and that was in November, so it's a little bit more recent. They got the odds coming in plus 195 for Moreno underdog. I believe in that. I think that is to be true. I've yet to test the sound, so I might be talking to myself right here. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's weird. Let's see. Can I hear something? There we go. Anthony Pettis. I think Anthony Pettis will be able to outstrike Alex Moreno. And I think that's where the fight's going to stay for the most part. I don't think they're going to do much grappling. Both guys very established grapplers. Anthony Pettis at Rufus Sport. I think his pedigree in striking is a little bit more impressive than Alex Moreno, so I'm going to go Anthony Pettis there. They slipped in Jillian Robinson versus Taylor Santos right there. Second fight on the main card. This is going to be a 7-fight main card. But they did that, a couple hours ago, so I didn't really get to preview Robinson versus Santos. But Marcin Tybura, Greg Hardy. Hardy 7-2-1. He's currently on a 2-fight winning streak right now with decision win over Yorgan De Castro and a knockout win over Maurice Green. 6 out of 7 of his wins via TKO or knockout. He has 1 loss by decision, 1 loss by disqualification. Everybody knows about the Ben Sassoli thing where he hit the inhaler in his corner and that's not allowed. And he's had an illegal knee to the grounded fighter before. Greg Hardy's had a little bit of a wishy-washy past in the UFC. He's looking to turn it around. He's already got a fight against Alexander Volkov. That was a decision loss for him. And now he's fighting Marcin Tybura, who's a great grappler. Decent striker, but just such a good grappler, black belt in jiu-jitsu. 20-6 is Tybura, 13 wins by finish, 7 knockouts, 6 submissions. He has been knocked out 4 times in his career and has never been submitted. He doesn't have to worry about the submissions against Hardy because he's obviously going to be the better grappler. But for getting knocked out 4 times out of your 6 losses should worry him a little bit when it comes to Greg Hardy's power. I think that's going to be a little bit of a deciding factor there. He's on a 3-fight winning streak right now with decisions over Sergey Spivak, Maxim Gresham, and Ben Rothwell most recently. This is a hard one to pick. I think the smart pick would be to go with Greg Hardy. Tybura coming in at a plus 100, so very slight underdog. But I think if he's able to get that fight to the ground, Marcin Tybura is able to dominate the fight. So I'm going to go Marcin Tybura just because he's got pretty good striking, not as much power as Greg Hardy. Who knows if he could take the power of Greg Hardy, but if and when he's able to succeed in taking the fight to the ground, he'll be able to dominate the fight for the remainder of the fight as long as he can keep it there. So I'm going to go Tybura. Marlon Moraes, Rob Font. Moraes 23-7-1, 5-3 in the UFC. 1-1 against Rafael Assunção. Other than that, he's got 2 losses. Henry Cejudo via TKO, and then Corey Sandhagen via TKO in his last fight. That was in October. He's a black belt Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. His other wins include Aljamain Sterling, John Dodson, Jimmy Rivera, and Jose Aldo. Rob Font's brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He is 17-4, never been knocked out in his career, only been submitted once. He's 7-3 in the UFC. He has losses to John Lineker via decision, Pedro Munoz via submission, and then Rafael Santos via decision. His best wins in the UFC are against Sergio Pettis and Ricky Simon. That was the last fight in December of 2019. Which I don't think that was his last fight, honestly. Rob Font. Most recent fight might have been the decision against Santos. I don't know. I'd have to look at it to be 100% positive, but it's going to be a great striking fight. I think Rob Font's got amazing stand-up, but I don't think it's going to be able to come close to Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes is, back from the World Series of Fighting days. He's a vet. He knows how to get away. He beat Aljo. Aljo's significantly improved his striking since then. But, he was one of the first guys to beat Aljo. That sick head kick where it kind of landed on the knee instead of the shin. Amazing stand-up. And I think if anybody's able to finish anybody, it's going to be Marlon Moraes. And then I'm also looking at Marlon Moraes will probably be more likely to win the decision than Rob Font. But, anything can happen. I'm going to go Marlon Moraes on that fight, though. Michel Pereira versus Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams coming off his most recent knockout over Abdul Razak Al Hassan. He also has a knockout over Alex Moreno, making him 2-0 in the UFC. He's 11-1 total. His only loss was to Dan Yates back in 2018, prior to him getting into the UFC. He has 6 wins via TKO or knockout out of his 11 total, whereas Pierre is 24-11-2. His last fight being a submission win over Zilem Imedov in September. He's 2-2 in the UFC. His 2 losses are to Tristan Connolly via decision, and then an illegal knee, which got him disqualified against Diego Sanchez. He's got 10 TKO or knockouts on his record, and he's 8-8 via decision. So this fight goes to the decision, and I'm going to give it to Chaos Williams. But if this fight is stopped anywhere inside the bell, I'm going to give it to Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira is he's got 37 pro fights to Williams' 12. So I think the experience is definitely on Pereira's side. And, he's got the flashy striking. His Chaos Williams hasn't really fought anybody with that flashy kind of striking capoeira striking style. He's fought those boxers and those brawlers and guys like that. So it's going to be something brand new for Williams. I hope he wins. He's 2-0 in the UFC. He's only got 1 loss in his entire career. He's a very promising prospect coming up right now in the UFC. But Pierre's, he's a vet, but I think he's got a lot of momentum coming into this fight, and I think that his capoeira flashy striking style is what's going to get him the win here. So I'm going to go Pierre. Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera is another great fight. Aldo 28-7. It's going to be his first fight back since losing to Peter Yan via TKO in July. He's currently on a 3-fight losing streak with that one to Yan, Marlon Moraes, and then Alexander Volkanovski. 17 wins via TKO or knockout on his career. His only other losses, other than those 3 losses, were Max Holloway twice, Conor McGregor, and then Luciano Edvizio in his 8th pro fight in 2005. So other than McGregor, Holloway, and Volkanovski, Moraes, and Yan, very, very, Jose Aldo was looked at as one of the best featherweights of all time because he went on such a crazy long win streak until he got to Conor McGregor from his last loss. So I agree, though. Jose Aldo is definitely top 3 featherweights of all time. He should be looked at as such. He will be fighting Marlon Vera, 16-6-1, who beat Sean O'Malley in his last fight via TKO. O'Malley had the ankle issue or the knee or whatever was the matter with O'Malley, but he still was finished. That was back in August. He's never been finished in his career, and his other top wins include Andre Ewell, Brian Kelleher, and Brad Pickett. So, I mean, you're looking at, Brad Pickett was great at one time. Now when he fought Vera, Brian Kelleher at the time was a very dominant wrestler, had a lot of power in his hands, but wasn't really crazy technical, and Andre Well, who's a great technical striker, but doesn't have a lot of power in those strikes, and um, is somewhat one-dimensional when it comes to fighting Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera is a really well-rounded fighter. He's fighting another well-rounded fighter in Jose Aldo, who has a lot more experience than him. We're talking about 35 fights to 23, so 12 more fights in his pro career. Aldo has been a featherweight champion. He's been on crazy winning streaks. I think Marlon Vera's bit off a little bit more than he could chew here. If we see the old Jose Aldo. If we see the Jose Aldo that fought Peter Yan, I think Vera just tunes him up hard, beats him up, uh, and it's going to be sad. It's probably going to be the demise of Jose Aldo, and it's probably going to be him getting cut from the new year. They said they got a lot of cuts coming out. Jose Aldo could be one of them if he rides this 4-fight losing streak. If he loses to Vera, I'm going to go Marlon Vera at plus 125 underdog. I think that's good on betting if you want to bet. That would be a smart decision. Stephen Thompson, Jeff Neal is a crazy fight. Jeff Neal just had. I can never remember what happened to the guy. I think his body went septic or something like that, and he was out for. Yeah, I like Neal, man. I think he's got a great shot. I was just talking about how I think his body went septic or something, and he was out for months. They didn't know if he was going to fight again, and this was just this year, so quick turnaround for something like that happened. I don't know if maybe he had a successful surgery or whatever happened. The odds are coming in close. Thompson minus 105, Neal minus 115. Neal's definitely got the power. Thompson, if Thompson never got knocked out by Anthony Pettis, I would say it's Thompson all day. There's no question that Thompson's going to win this fight. The only losses were to Matt Brown, Woodley, Till, and Pettis. Pettis was the only one to finish him. And, of course, his last fight was a decision win over Vicente Luque, but that was in November of 2019. So he's had about a year and a month off since his last fight. Jeff Neal in a similar situation with his last fight being December of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere in there. He's 13-2. His only 2 losses are against Kevin Holland via TKO in 2017 prior to the UFC. Yeah, Wonder Boy is old. I think, what it really comes down to in this fight is who's going to be able to implement their better game plan. It's going to be a 5-round fight. I think Jeff Neal's first 5-round fight in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's on a 7-fight winning streak right now, 5-0 in the UFC. He's got wins over Mike Perry, Nico Price, Bill Muhammad. He's beat some great fighters in the UFC so far. He's got a lot of power. You see how he hurt Mike Perry. He hurt Nico Price in their fight. My issue is, Stephen Thompson, yes, he's getting old. Is he going to be a guy that completely lost his step? Is he going to be a guy that gets knocked out once and then, he gets knocked out a few other times in his career? I personally don't think so. I think Stephen Thompson, even though he's getting a little older, he is trying to hold somebody hitting the fucking thing. Anyway, even though he's getting a little older, I think, he's still got. Get the fuck out of here. There's a cat right here in my backyard. You better get lost, dude. I know you guys seen that in the camera. That dude, he just disappeared, this cat, bro. I didn't know. Completely disappeared. That's wild. Oh, the cat's got. I got 3 dogs in this house. Cat's that old. He's just chilling up there. Yeah, you guys would have had to see him. You guys would have been calling Peter on me. I would have smacked that cat across this fucking deck right here. But anyway, it sucks to say. I like Jeff Neal. I think that he's going to be a very promising future star in the UFC. But I think that Wonder Boy fighting a 5-round fight before, knowing how to get wins in those types of situations, having a great gas tank. If he's able to stay away from the power in the first couple rounds, I got Stephen Wonder Boy Thompson later. Be a decision. So that's going to be my pick. It was pretty hard to choose. I'm not going to lie. I was still debating it this Tap Out King, shout out to Tap Out King, was making me feel a little, I mean, he wasn't making me feel, he was definitely making me second guess my pick there of Stephen Thompson. I'm trying to get that motherfucker now. Anyway, rest of the card reads out CRU Banks versus Pani Kizad, De'Aaron Wynn versus Antonio Aurora, and forgive me, I'm going to murder some of these names. Araman Zahabai versus Draco Rodriguez, Tefan Nushque versus Jamie Pickett, Rick Glenn versus Carlton Minnis, which is going to be a great fight in my opinion. Jimmy Flick versus Cody Durden. Always good to see Jimmy Flick back in there. Shout out Jimmy Flick, beast. Jillian Robinson, Taylor Santos, we talked about a little earlier, and then Carl Robinson versus Dalcha Langambula. This is going to be it for a while, guys. There's not going to be another card till the 16th, I think, of January. So we'll definitely be taking the holidays off. Same as the UFC, guys. Maybe we'll come back next week if there's like news or something, or if there's a Bellator card. Might preview the Bellator card or something like that. But if not, you're probably not going to hear from us until the Tuesday before the 16th card. So, man, show some love, subscribe, like the video. Holla at you guys. Stay barbecued. Hit me up on Twitter, the barbecue pit _live. Fuck with me, dog.